clearly, when Mr. Floyd was no longer responsive and even motionless, to continue to apply that level of force to a person proned out, handcuffed behind their back, that in no way, shape, or form is anything that is by policy, is not part of our training, and it is certainly not part of our ethics or our values.
Now we have Miss Jasmine Abdullah, Pasadena Black Lives Matter.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? All right, cool. I want to just talk about this, right? That this has been happening in Pasadena a lot. Before Anthony, it was Kendrick McDade, it was Leroy Barnes, it was Reginald J.R. Thomas, right? Pasadena has they hide evidence, they hide things. And because we have a lot of money, we make stories disappear. But what I want to question and tell you guys is that the ambulance got there 17 minutes after the police. The police station is 8 minutes away from the park. The ambulance is 2 minutes away from the park. Why did they get there 15 minutes after the police? Now let's question that. Why does every black person have to go to Huntington and die? My friend could have lived. He ran, he was running, and he kicked his shoes off. He kicked his shoes off because that's what we do in the hood. When we running fast, when we about to get there, we get on our shoes. And so he was no threat to you. But because Edwin Duma-Gwendon, I'm gonna say his name, because Edwin Duma-Gwendon can catch Anthony McClain, he had to shoot him. He shot my friend in the back, and that's like the overseers catching a slave when he running away. Let's really talk about it, right? And so they're trained for this, but this is my real friend. So I implore you all to do this, right? As you say his name, and you think about Anthony's death, what are you gonna do to fight for his life, right? What are we gonna do? We're gonna keep on putting pressure on Steve Ramil, as well as the Pasadena Police Chief, Perez, excuse me. We have petitions out if people want to sign those petitions. Y'all might want to listen to this.
Okay.
We have petitions out to fire Officer Rosa, and Officer Duma-Gwendon,
okay,
as well as Chief Perez,
okay,
and as well as Steve Ramil. Okay. Because as the current city charter, we can't do anything without getting Steve Ramil out of the way. I'm letting everybody know that though. So go sign the petition.
But at any point, when he turned or when he shifted or when he ran, did he reach for the weapon after the initial contact? You know what I mean?
You could see him either holding or reaching for it.
But it could have been his waistband at the same time.
It was, you could see the weapon in his waistband.
Right, and he's reaching in that direction.
So he's running, and he has it in his hand, and he's running with it in his hand.
Oh, so he's running with it in his hand.
Running in his hand. And so if you're the officer, you might get something like this. And so this is what we're trying to figure out,
okay,
is that.
Okay.
So our discussion here is going to be, our community discussion should be switched from no gun, shot in the back, to the point is we need something more to understand why he's shot and should he have shot.
Did he ever train the gun on the pursuing officer?
Never had if he was, he never had that opportunity. That's why the officer is likely fired when you look at his statement.
And the gun could be some type of jury-rigged hybrid.
I'm willing to guess. Look how easy it broke apart. It's a real weapon.
Right.
It's a real weapon, and this thing may be a ghost gun.
Which is, just define that for us.
Where you have a part of the gun that you may obtain the bottom part, and the top part may not have any serial number, or in fact is stolen from somewhere. You put two guns together. So we're probably going to guess this is likely a ghost gun. And when you write about ghost guns, you do a little research on it to find out more about the details of a ghost gun, so you feel familiar with it. So this is the concern that caused our entire weekend to be where it's at as a community, the entire shifting of where we are with the social movement that has descended on Pasadena, and where we're going to go from here.